All right, what's up, guys? It's Rob here from the Beard Club, and we are back. It is episode 6 of Before the Beard, and today I am pumped about this one. We are with my personal barber of over a decade, Mr. Eddie Bastidas. Eddie, also known as Hair by Eddie.
Hair by Eddie, yup.
Thanks for having us here today. We're in your home, your shop.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's great having you guys here. I appreciate you guys coming out and rocking out with me.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a little funny now having a conversation with all these cameras looking at us because typically I'm in that chair.
Yeah.
And
I'm
getting these fine haircuts. Yeah. So if you can just introduce yourself to everyone that's watching. So just like who you are, you know, generally where you're from, a little bit of the background of how you started barbering, and then we'll kind of go from there.
All right, cool. Yeah, definitely. So I'm Eddie from northern New Jersey. After high school, I started cutting hair in high school, but nothing crazy, you know. To be quite transparent, like we didn't have enough money to get haircuts all the time, so me and my boys would just kind of clean each other up. And I've been drawing since I was like 3-4 years old. So they're like, oh, you could do a straight line, until I tried to cut hair and it wasn't a straight line.
Yeah.
But I learned very quickly how to maneuver these different types of, clippers and shears and stuff. So after high school, I went into the military. I did not want to go into the military. My mother signed me up into the military.
Really?
Because I got in trouble. Yeah, I was a knucklehead.
What'd you do?
I got in trouble. That's a whole nother show. Right. It's the dumbest thing in the world. But long story short, it's vandalism, trespassing, and fighting in 1 month.
Nice.
So
you're getting after it.
I got arrested 3 times in a month, and I saw the same judge. And the judge, I was 16, 17 years old. I was 17 years old. And she said, and it was a woman judge, and she was like, listen, next year, he's going to stay with me. So my mother was crying. The last time we left the court, we walk out and a Navy recruiter walks up to her. And she was like, I'm signing him up. And I'm like, no, you're not. I don't know if I can curse on you. I was like, no, I'm not.
We're good.
And he was like, yo, I'm not going to lie, yo, Kevin, his name is Kevin. He definitely pushed me to go. He went to my school, he went to my high school. I was suspended 58 days junior year. 58 days? In my junior year.
I did not realize that.
I was a knucklehead, bro.
I thought you were like, signing up, going in.
Nah. Nah. And then I got into a fight with my mom before I left, and this was I signed up 17 days after 9/11.
Wow.
So they had this program called the DEP program. It's called Delayed Entry Program. And I was a junior in high school.
Right. Yeah.
She signed me up. I had the whole senior year, and they were like, if you don't graduate high school, you're not going. And I was like, bet, I'm not gonna graduate high school. It was corny, bro. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But Kevin would come in and he would walk me to classes. It was because of him, bro, because I graduated high school, no exaggeration.
Wow.
I graduated high school and I got into this big fight with my mom, and I was like, you want me to go to Iraq and die? I'm going.
Damn.
And then she was like, no, I don't want you to go. Of course I left.
Yeah.
I went into the military, boot camp. My A school was in Mississippi. First place I go to was Iraq.
Wow.
I was on the USS Enterprise. First place we went, 2002. I was cutting hair in the military for 8 years. I learned a lot, messed up a lot in the military, but we're in the middle of the ocean on a Navy ship.
Yeah.
You know, where else are you gonna get your hair cut?
Yeah.
And I was cutting 40, 50 people a day and just practicing whatever I wanted to do. So I got pretty good. After the military, I started cutting hair. I got my license in the military. So I was 8 years later. Yeah. I started cutting hair in a barbershop in Clifton. And I had my first daughter. That's why I got out of the military, because I had a baby girl.
Yeah, yeah.
And I started cutting hair, and then I was like, yo, I need a real job. So I went into banking.
So how long after were you cutting? You got out of the Navy, and then you were cutting hair for how long?
That's a good question. I don't know, like 6 months, maybe a year. And I was like, I need to get a real job, because I was cutting hair. I was going to school. So I went to college after I got out the military, because that is one big perk that they give you, free education. Yeah. I was going to school, cutting hair.
What were you going to school for?
For business management.
Oh, okay.
So I got my bachelor's in business management. Ask me where it is. I don't know where it is. I don't know. I don't want to say this. Go to school, guys. But for me, school's a scam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But anyways, I went to school, got my college degree. I was a banker for JP Morgan Chase. I did that for like 3-4 years, I want to say. I got recruited out to do commercial real estate. One of my buddies was doing commercial real estate, introduced me to his principals. They liked me. Quit my job.
I remember that. That was right around the time when you and I met.
Yeah.
You know, because we had a mutual business together through some friends.
Yeah.
And those were some good years though.
Yeah, it was.
I think
it was.
I really, you know, when I talk to people about business and all that, I wish that everyone, or kids. Yeah, us old guys now.
Yeah,
I wish they could all go through the business like system that we went through
100%.
With all the mentorship, with the books, the reading.
1,000%.
I feel like just a few years of that, just being like surrounded by business guys that actually have real world experience running businesses, not in the classroom, is worth 10 times what kids pay for college.
It catapulted my mindset to a place that I would never thought that I could ever be.
Yeah.
And that's real talk. Like, again, I was a knucklehead when I was young.
Oh, I know.
You know, my mother, rest in peace, she worked 3 jobs to give us what she could. But I never thought that I can own a business. I never thought that I can read a book a week.
Yeah.
You know, read a book a month. Like, you know, it's... So when the business that he's talking about, those people that surrounded us, legit people with money owning businesses, and you know, obviously they had their, you know, they had a vested interest, obviously,
of course,
but they were truly, you know, wanting you to win. You know, they truly wanted you to make money. So yeah, man. So that taught me a lot for banking. Because in the business that we were in, it was a people business. So banking, people would come up to me and I would just talk to them and disarm them, not even talking to them about banking.
I know.
And then, all right, I'll put all my money with you. And people would look at me like, how is this kid doing this? It's just, you know, a kid from Patterson, you know, Passaic. Yeah. How is he doing this? And it's just, you know, again, I was just blessed with being with the right people at the right time.
What did you want to do, like, when you were in the Navy cutting hair? Yeah. What were you thinking about doing when you got out?
That's a great question. That passed my mind once a day, and the answers changed once a day. So really? I don't know. I always knew that I was going to cut hair part-time. Yeah. Because it's one of those things that's like, oh, you know, well, this was back in the day. Yeah. I would think like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I need gas. I can make some quick money by cutting hair.
Couple haircuts, yeah.
I never ever thought that you could make 6 figures or plus. Right. Own a home, you know, I'm married, build 3 kids, build a good life, travel, do whatever you want by cutting hair. Yeah. I tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, I just cut hair, bro. Yeah. You know, but we're blessed, you know. I'm definitely blessed that cutting hair I can provide for my family. But I didn't know. I did not know. That's a legit answer. Like I said, it changed every day. I didn't want to be a banker, but one of my clients was a banker. And again, he was like, dude, the way you talk, like you can talk to people, you should just, and I'm like, yo, but I don't want to be a teller. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't want to count bills. Yeah. But he was like, nah, you'll be a banker like me. But I was like, yo, you need a degree. I don't have a degree. I'm like, I'm in school. Yeah. Nah, don't worry about that. Yeah. So he spoke to his area manager, DM. Shout out to Jason Kahn. He's my boy. I still talk to him to this day. And he gave me a shot. He was like, yo, your military experience overrides a business degree or whatever type of degree. Right. And if Jamal, my boy Jamal, who's now not a banker, he's my lawyer, went to law school. Yeah, rocking. And he was like, I 100% vouch for this kid. Yeah. And I went in and I rocked out. I killed it because of these guys. It's not because of me. It's because
it's the people skills. You quickly realize that
in any industry, what you do is if you can talk to people, bro. Like if people think you know what you're talking about, they'll trust you 100%. And if they trust you, they want to do business with you. So.
And knowing that, you can disarm, and like even when it comes down to like appearances, right? Like we were very used to clean cut. suit and tie, shaven. I know I don't even like to say the word.
We both have beards crazy, right? I actually cleaned up my beard a lot because of the wedding.
I know I'm a little disappointed in how short
I had
made
a
it.
big beard, and it's because like, all right, going back, reversing into the military, you had to be clean shaven.
Right. Yeah.
I hated shaving, so I used to cut the person that ran the no shave chits, and I used to have a beard in the military because I hated shaving.
Yeah.
I used to be like, oh, I'll break out.
Yeah.
And they were like, ah, you break out. So I used to walk around. Now, obviously, I couldn't have a beard like you.
Yeah.
I couldn't even have a beard like me
Right.
in the military. It was just like a
like
shadow,
like a
almost.
5.
Yeah. A little bit more, but very less than what we have.
Yeah.
And I was happy with that. I was like, at least it's not a baby phase, you know?
Yeah.
But so since then I was like against shaving. Then I go into corporate America, and I had a little beard, right? I was cutting hair for the 6 months for a year, and then Jamal was like, "Yo, you're gonna shave your face for the interview?" And I'm like, I was like, "Do I have to?" He was like, "Listen, you don't have to do anything."
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
It just looks better because it's corporate America.
corporate, yeah.
And remember, this
And you're
was,
a banker.
and I'm a banker, and this was how many years ago, right? So I was like, I shaved my face.
Oof.
Horrible, right? I go in there again. Jason and Sandy, who was the bank manager at the time. Boom, we did that. Then little by little, I started growing my beard out again.
Yeah.
But as long as I kept it cleaned up, they didn't care. And after a while, like we got so cool that they're like.
And where I was going is the fact that if you have enough people skills and you've sharpened your knife enough, where you know how to talk to people, you can overcome and disarm them in terms of like their perception of you based on looks.
Yeah.
Right. So like a lot of people think, oh, a beard. But once people start talking to you and you can find common ground and direct that conversation, that all fades away.
Yeah.
No one tells you that. No one teaches you that.
They teach you the opposite. They're like, oh no one's gonna come in with $1 million check and wants to deposit with a kid that has a beard. And I'm like, someone just did that last week. Like, what are you talking about? But that's the thing. That's the misconception. Yeah. And then when I went to commercial real estate, the principals were these guys that were, they were millionaires, but they were from the 80s.
Right.
And in the 80s, early 90s, it's like clean cut, always in a suit. I'm like, I'm making phone calls in a cubicle. I have to be in a suit, clean cut, like no one's seeing me. Yeah. But they didn't care. That's what they wanted. Oh, if you see somebody and there's a beard that just looks dirty, I'm like, okay. But then you start thinking that. I'm like, man, I'm in the hair business. Yeah. And I'm like, but if it's manicured correctly, a beard will look fire. Like, yeah. And then little by little, you start seeing, these older people start getting phased out, and these younger people start coming into more power, and they're like, I don't want to wear a suit every day. Like, I wear a button up, but then I'm wearing jeans. I'm wearing sneakers. Yeah. Like, sneakers nowadays is a whole different culture. Oh, yeah. And there's people in big board business meetings wearing sneakers and beards, tattoos. Yeah. And this is the world we live in now.
So how did you transition from banking? You went from banking to real estate, and then we had our business, and then you and I both kind of started transitioning back to what we wanted to do.
Creatives, right?
Being creatives.
Yeah. So when I was in banking, again, I cut hair since 98, right? So I was cutting hair in the background forever. I got out of the military, cut hair for a little bit, went into banking. I still cut hair, but it was after working hours, Saturday and Sundays. So there's many years that I was working 7 days a week. Now, saying that, it wasn't hard because, whatever, but I was cutting hair.
You weren't punching the clock.
Yeah, I wasn't punching the clock, but I was still cutting hair. When I went into real estate, though, one of my friends at the time was like, I want to open up a shop in New Milford. And I was like, all right, cool. He was like, yo, but I need help with capital. I was like, all right, so I'll throw some money. And then you just give me a spot to cut when I want to. He goes, bet. So I would cut there after work. You should see, like, some of my clients still to this day, like, yo, you remember we used to cut my hair in a suit? And I'm like, damn, I do remember that. Yeah. So I used to leave from a meeting, go take off my tie, go put on an apron and cut hair and button down the slacks and shoes. And then in commercial real estate, I was only there for like 2-3 years. Like 2.5 years.
Yeah, it was quick. Because I remember when you were like, yeah, I'm cutting hair again.
Yeah. Like, oh. Yeah. It was like 2-3 years. And I was like, you know what? One day, I was bumping heads with the principals a lot. And he knew I owned the barbershop on the side. I was a partner in the barbershop on the side. And I told him, I said, listen, you know, this isn't gonna work. You're not letting me, because I was quote unquote not freelancer,
like a contractor.
like I was my own boss, but I was under their umbrella. But he treated us like employees. And I've since the beginning, since forever, I hated having a boss. You know, I always wanted to be my own boss. My only boss is my wife, right? Shout out to Alexa. But for real though, like I hated that. So I was like, yo, like you gotta I'm a peacock, let me fly, you know what I'm saying? Let me do my own thing, right? Yeah. I was like, I not to sound cocky, but I'm like, yo, I know people. Let me just go out there and talk, not reading from a script, making 100, 200 phone calls a day. So we bumped heads and I left. I lost my job. And he was like, oh, go, you know, you're going to go back to banking. And I was like, yeah, because Jason Kahn again offered me a job, took me out to lunch. And he was like, I want you back. And this was 2-3 years later. And he was like, he saw what I did when I was in banking. And he was like, yo, I want you back. And I was like, I want to go back. Because I thought that I needed to have that security. But again, you know, I did not feel like happy. You know, I had clients that offered me jobs in the city, you know, starting $75,000, $80,000, but then the commute, then wearing a suit and tie every day, shaving my face every day, and I wasn't with it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna cut hair until I find something. So I have a spreadsheet since it was 2016 when I started cutting hair in like June, July, and I have every penny that I've made cutting hair since June 2016, and I have made more money than both banking and commercial real estate combined, which is crazy because all I do is cut hair, you know? But this outlet is giving me a way to express myself. You know, I can wear what I want. Like I'm wearing, you know, comfortable shoes, comfortable clothes. I can have my hair as long as I want, as short as I want. When all three of my daughters were born, I shaved my face just because my wife is like, oh, you're gonna irritate her face, because she's like, all right, I'll shave my face. My hair grows back in 2 days. It doesn't matter, you know. But
I think people are starting to realize that too, is especially coming into this year, that man, if you could just do something that you like to do and enjoy it, and have that add value to people, you're gonna get compensated for it, 100%. And you're not gonna have to live this like lifestyle and make these choices that you're being forced to make or you don't want to make. You know, like so I was the same thing. I was in outside sales, driving around in restaurants, like. Whew, I think back to those days and I appreciate them.
Oh, you need. I think you need. We
you do need to go through.
We needed those, but that's back in the day. Like nowadays, I tell kids all the time. I was like, "Yo, do what you love, bro. Do what you love. If you want to take pictures,
do a couple of things you hate, and then do something."
You
don't want it to be too easy.
It builds character. No, 100%. But it's not easy though. Rob, you know that.
I know.
You know, you want to go cut. You want to take pictures. People are gonna like, all right, I can take a picture with my iPhone. And you're like, what? You're bugging. Oh, like the COVID, I have crazy loss with COVID, with cutting hair. Now I'm still blessed that, you know, I made enough money to provide for my family, but crazy loss. And people were saying like, oh, I don't need to get a haircut every week, every 2 weeks, once a month. I can let it rock out, let it grow out. You know, my girlfriend, my wife, my mom cuts my hair now. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yes.
I can tell.
Trust me. People, the other day, somebody walked in and I was like, oh man, I couldn't get to you for a couple months. So I just had my girlfriend kind of clean up the sides. And I was like, yo, dude, like that's crazy what she did to the back of your head, yo.
It's a criminal.
Yo, what?
So where do you see you in the future? What's the next move for, and obviously you're part owner here at Ego Trip.
Yeah, so my partner Sean, shout out Sean, your boy me on Instagram. That's my man, that's my brother. We're planning on opening up something bigger. We were thinking about doing multiples, so smaller boutique ones, but we need the space, man. Like we outgrew the space. We've been here for 3 years. The plan, and this is just to be 100% transparent, the plan is to not cut hair as much anymore. You know, it's to transition my business mind practices into having a business run by itself, getting paid, and I still want to cut hair. I love cutting hair, so I'll still cut hair a couple times a week. You know, maybe certain clients. You know, I know people that have done that, like opened up multiple shops and they only cut hair on one shop or a couple days, and they're, you know, they charge $150, $400, whatever it is, and people are like, I don't want to pay that. They're like, you don't have to. Just go to my people, and they're still getting paid.
Yeah, and they just become operators.
Yeah, and another thing was during COVID, I tried to make, I scrambled to try to make certain money. So I looked into the beard oil stuff, making our own product. Man, I give you guys all the credit in the world because that shit is hard, bro. And it's easy. The idea is simple, but actually doing it, my daughters were looking at me in my dining room table like, Daddy, what are you doing? And I'm in here like
a scientist,
like a mad scientist. And then trying to do the droppers, and I was looking into these machines that automatically do it, and I'm like, man, am I really gonna spend a couple grand on this machine? Am I really gonna do this I'm trying to make money, not going more into red.
Yeah, well, we got some big news coming on that too, so stay tuned. So I mean, your business is one of the most impacted businesses during 2020. Like
hashtag non-essential.
Dude, please.
Yeah, for real. Bro.
So I know you guys are expanding, which is great. But what were some of the biggest struggles? I mean, outside of the obvious, but what did you guys go through with COVID?
So I thankfully, all right, so let's talk about during COVID. March 16th is when they shut us down. Yeah. Right? March 16th is when they shut us down, and June 22nd is when we opened back up. So 3.5 months later. Jeez. And I'm gonna be 100% transparent. I was like, I'm still cutting. I have to do what I have to do. Yeah. They said, oh, go apply for unemployment. I'm like, cool. The end of March, I applied for unemployment, got denied. I'm like, all right, that's cool, right? So supposedly I heard that, and I read somewhere that
what did they say?
Waves. They were doing it in waves. So it was like employees, freelancers, business owners. Oh yeah. So in May, I got an email saying, hey, you're approved for unemployment. And I was like, all right, cool. So what happened March, April, but whatever.
So business owners got it less.
Got it later, business owners. And they approved me for $208 a week. So I can buy lunch 2-3 times a week. That's very cute. But whatever. Again, I told my wife. So my wife in the beginning was super, super scared of COVID. Everybody was, right? Yeah. And I said, I'm gonna be honest, I can care less. Like, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I have to provide for my family. Yeah. So I have pictures of me with gloves, masks, double masks, glass shields, or plastic shields, and I'm in garages, I'm in porches, outside, back sidewalks, I'm in attics, I'm in bathrooms, I'm in kitchens. I have never done so many house calls in my life. And I had to and I told her, I said, listen, let me at least get enough to pay for the house. And then the rest we'll get out of savings, you know? Yeah. And my savings was dwindling every day because we still lived a certain way. And not saying that we were traveling or nothing like that, but we were just living a certain way. But saying that, me as a barber, as a business owner, like I was depressed, bro. Like imagine working 60 hours a week to working 10.
Not even working 6 hours a week. Just imagine doing something you love to do and enjoy doing for 60 hours a week.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And then some people saying,
you're not allowed to, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Yeah, while we live, that's why I served 8 years in this country to give me the freedom to do whatever I want. Right? But and what's crazy is that we still had to pay rent here at the shop. Yep. The landlord gave us some leniency with 2 months, but we still paid and making zero income. Imagine me telling my guys like, "Hey guys, you're not allowed at the shop." Like that's crazy.
It's insane.
That's crazy. So it affects.
So when you guys opened back up, how did it go?
So it was like Christmas. The first 2 weeks were like Christmas, which we were like, oh, we're blessed. But it was our like ride or die hard. Yeah. I was gonna say fans, but our family, like friends, clients, and circling back real quick, like during that time, March 16th to June 22nd, like our clients took care of us. Like I would post online like, hey, listen, we're still not open, whatever, you guys can buy gift cards. I was having people pay me weekly because they're like, listen, I was gonna get a haircut anyway. And they're like, I'm blessed, I'm still working. Yeah. It hasn't affected me. The only thing that hasn't affected is that now I don't have to cross the bridge, pay tolls. I don't have to eat out lunch every day. I'm home in front of a computer. Yeah. So it hasn't affected me. So boom, I have other clients that have cut their hair once or twice, but they live in California. Like it brought me to tears multiple times how things like this actually bring people together. And they're like, yo, dude, I know you hurting here. You know, I know you have a family here. You know, I have clients, yo, here's grocery shopping, like stuff like that. I'm like, man, like, I'm like, I'm very anal when it comes to organization and numbers and all that stuff. So I wrote down everything.
I know you are.
And I wrote down everything, and I wrote down everybody who gave it to me, when they gave it to me. And I was like, yo, dude, when we open back up, don't worry, I got you. I was like, we'll figure it out.
It was almost like you guys. It's almost like you got married again.
Oh,
you had to keep track of all these gifts for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like
your Christmas card list just increased a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, man, people definitely took care of us. You know, when we opened, like I said, it was Christmas. It was like super packed, but Governor Murphy was like, we can only have 25% capacity. No walk-ins. We haven't done walk-ins in 5 years, so that didn't affect us. By appointment only. We couldn't do beards. In the beginning, the first month, we couldn't do beards. We had to wear masks, gloves, shields, and it was crazy, man. It was crazy. And then again, people were. It was in the height. It was June, July. So people were scared still. So fortunately for me, I didn't lose many clients. But unfortunately for me, I lost the
like the business.
Yeah, like people would come every
traffic.
week. Yeah, the traffic. People would come every week. Now they're coming once a month.
Right.
People would come once a month. Now they're coming every 2-3 months.
Right.
You know, because they're like, oh, I'll wait. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm staying home.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working from home. I don't have any. You know.
Yeah.
So it affected me crazy COVID. And then of course the government's like, oh, we got you. Like, we'll help you out. You're small business. We'll take care of you. All right, cool. PPP, denied for PPP.
They denied you for that?
Yeah, SBA loan. They was like, yeah, of course we'll lend you money.
Yeah, of course.
Of course we'll lend you money. And I was like, I don't know if I want to. Sean and I were talking about it, like, should we?
Yeah.
But it's like the government cares to a certain extent, you know? And unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You know, because these big companies, you heard Shake Shack and Ruth Chris and all these huge companies getting millions upon millions of dollars. And in a small time, I heard, I don't know how accurate this number, I know that the numbers were changing crazy, but at one point, like 50% of small businesses closed.
Oh, yeah.
Like for good, not just closed.
No, not closed, temporarily.
Good.
Or out of business. Good. Yeah.
So we're blessed that we're still here, you know?
Yeah.
And because a lot of them didn't. But COVID showed me a lot, man. Showed me how people come together, how people really do care about you, and unfortunately, how much the government
does not. Yeah, it's been quite the year. But here we are going into another one.
Yeah, hopefully.
So let's transition a little bit. Make this a little more fun and enjoying, other than the COVID talk. So. Oh, all right. First question. You got to give me one song.
Oof.
Okay.
One song.
Mm-hmm. That you know all the words to. Comes on the radio. You're singing it. But you are absolutely embarrassed to tell any of your boys. You would never mention it in this shop that you know the words to it.
Oh, man. I don't know. Because I can care less. I sing Mariah Carey in here. Katy Perry. My daughter's a huge Ariana Grande fan. I don't know. That's a good question.
What's your favorite song off the new Ariana album?
My daughter loves Positions. Is that what it's Positions?
Yes, Positions.
Yeah, I think it's Position. I don't know. All
right.
What's the one what's the one in the movie White Chicks?
Oh, someone else said this too.
Moving downtown, walking around.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, when it comes on.
What is it?
1,000 miles.
1,000 miles.
1,000 miles. Word. Every time I see that movie, I rock out.
All right. All right. Papa John's or Domino's?
Papa John or Domino's? 100% Papa John's. And everyone thinks
really?
I'm crazy, yo. Yeah.
You are out of your mind.
Yo, Papa John's grilled chicken and jalapenos with the garlic sauce, hitting.
I mean, it does sound good.
It's hitting, bro. I'm sorry. Dude, I was poor,
Thin crust Domino's? Thin crust crispy Domino's? Come on.
I guess.
Come on, guy.
You know what? Domino's did change up a lot after the last couple of years because years ago they were trash.
Yeah.
But Papa John's, I'm sorry, I mess with Papa John's.
All right. That's another question. What's and this is for the shop here. What's like? Give me what's one TV show that's like always playing in here? Like, what's a common thread TV show or music artist that you guys play or listen to in the shop here?
Well, right now we're on an Entourage binge, so we've been watching Entourage for the last week, couple days.
Love Entourage.
Before that we were watching Rick and Morty.
On
We were watching Rick and Morty in here. We watched all of that.
that note, if you were stranded on an island and you could only watch one show or one movie off Netflix for the rest of your for the rest of your life, what would you pick? I'll take Netflix off the table.
Just a streaming app?
Just any show or movie for the rest of your life. You can only watch that. What are you picking?
Damn, that's tough, man. Because right now HBO Max is my favorite streaming app. I've been nonstop binging that thing for the last month or two. Damn, that's hard, bro. Because Life is my favorite movie, and they have it on HBO Max.
Oh yeah, Life.
Life is my shit. Some people get the
I gotta
comedy,
check that out.
Other people don't get the comedy. They're like, yeah, it's funny, but it's not that funny. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
The Sopranos I can watch over and over again. Entourage I can watch over and over again.
All right. If since you're in the Navy, if you owned a boat or when you buy a boat, what are you gonna name it?
Oof, I think about that all the time. Because I'm getting a boat. That's my dream is to live on a lake and get a boat. And oh man.
This is very applicable then.
Yeah, it is. Let me think about that. That's a good one.
Well, we only have so much time.
Nah, they be all right. Part 2, bro. Part 2. Barbero. Nah, that's barber in Spanish.
It sounds good in Spanish. Why does everything sound better in Spanish?
Nigga, we the shit, bro. What you want me to tell you?
All right, follow at Hair by Eddie in the Beard Club to find out the answer to that question.
Word. Follow Hair by Eddie, _Eddie in the Beard Club.
Yeah, and we'll post the answer to that one.
We'll post the answer. Let me think about that. That's a good one.
You clearly didn't come prepared for this.
Not at all. I didn't think about that one because I've thought about that in the past, and I've thrown like dumb names out there, like I just did, Barbero. But this is a real thing. This is happening because I'm buying a boat. So I am not tomorrow, but I'm buying a boat. So I want to really give a legit answer.
All right. Well, think about that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I appreciate your time today.
Well, of course, man.
Thanks for letting us.
Thank you guys for coming to my humble abode.
Thank you. I know we just shouted out, but where can everyone shout out your social profile? Where can everyone find you if they want to see your haircuts and whatnot?
So my personal page is hair by _Eddie. The barbershop is egotrip_hair. And you can make appointments there, Ego Trip, with all the barbers, with Siraj, Hair, Juanji the Barber, and your boy me, Sean Palou. So you can definitely check out all of us. We all have different styles. Siraj the Crazy Indian is hilarious. Juanji the Barber, he's a cute little barber. And Sean is the man at anything and everything. So check us out, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, there you go. Be sure to follow us at The Beard Club, subscribe to us on YouTube, and we will see you next time.